Hi, and welcome to the third webinar in the Conceive Baby webinar series. First of all, please excuse my voice today. Too much shouting at the election coverage, I think. No, actually, I'm battling a cold, so I'm glad Tony will be doing most of the talking tonight. But firstly, I will introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tasha Jennings. I'm a naturopath, nutritionist, natural fertility specialist, and the founder of Conceive Baby. I write and provide expert comment for various media publications such as The Age, the Herald Sun, New Idea, Mouth of Mums, the Bub Hub, and other parenting websites and magazines, as well as pharmaceutical and medical journals. My first book was The Vitamins Guide, which you may see on the Conceive Baby web shop. The Vitamins Guide is now on its third reprint, and that's sold throughout Australia, Canada, the US, and the UK. And The Fertility Diet, which was published last year, which you may recognise from the site as well, and I hope you've all got your free introduction. Now, the fertility diet is really, I guess, epitomises where my passion lies. For the past 5 years, I've been specialising in fertility and pregnancy. And my reason for specialising in this area was really a personal one, really. I was wanting to fall pregnant and we were having difficulty. So what started out as a small personal project really became a career passion as I met with researchers both here and internationally, and was really inspired by what I was discovering about the role of certain nutrients on fertility as well as the long-term health of the developing baby. And this is how my company Zycia was born. And I chose the name Zycia because it means life. And the company specialises in creating and nourishing and supporting life in its earlier stages, from fertility and conception all the way through to pregnancy and breastfeeding. And more recently, to further support couples on their fertility journey, I created the Conceive Baby website, which is what you see today. Now, again, the Conceive Baby website was really based on my own fertility experience. I guess as a naturopath and nutritionist, I have a background in nutrition and health. And with my husband being a cardiologist, I guess we were lucky enough to have, the knowledge and access through the medical context that meant that our fertility journey was relatively short compared to many couples that I do speak with. And we are now blessed with 2 beautiful children, photos of whom you will see scattered around the Conceive Baby website, and probably some family pics behind me there. So my aim for the Conceive Baby website was really to bring together a team of specialists across all aspects of fertility and preconception health, so that other people who were struggling, like we were, could have access to qualified, credible information to help them conceive and carry healthy, beautiful babies as we were able to. And a valued member of that expert team is Tony Chiodo. Now, so you may know Tony from his cookbooks, Eating Well and Feel Good Food, copies of which are regularly on my counter and are well dog-eared and well used. And his recipes have also been featured in Vogue, Gourmet Traveler, The Age, as well as, of course, the Conceive Baby website, which we're really lucky to have. And Tony is also trained and practiced in more than 100 dietary theories and is certified by the Institute for Integrative Medicine, Integrative Nutrition in the USA. Now, Tony and I first met actually a few years back when I attended one of his cooking classes, actually at the South Melbourne market, and I was really inspired by Tony's passion and his simple, easy and delicious approach to healthy eating. So when I first came up with the Conceive Baby concept and the expert panel, Tony was one of the first people who came to mind, and I'm so glad he said yes and has joined the team, because we're really lucky to have him today, and I'm really excited to be chatting to him about a topic that's I'm very passionate about personally, which is food and nutrition, because we really are what we eat. And I know when I was practicing, I found that a lot of people, we actually treat our cars better than we treat ourselves a lot of the time. I mean, we wouldn't put water in the fuel tank and expect our cars to run on all cylinders. And even for a non-car enthusiast like myself, I still look after my car. I still put really good petrol in there. I still get it regularly serviced. But in reality, you know, I can trade that car in if it breaks down. You know, this is the only vehicle that we will ever have. And a lot of people really don't equate what we're fueling it with to how we're feeling. So, and I think, you know, there's probably good reasons for that, because it can appear that way. Because our body is a pretty amazing little being, really. We can adapt and survive under some pretty dire dietary conditions. But we can just survive. And especially when it comes to fertility, we want to more than just survive. We want to thrive. We want to thrive ourselves, and we want to thrive and nourish that growing baby inside us, or potential future growing baby. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Much better topic than all the election coverage. So there's no election talk here today. So welcome, Tony.
Tasha, thanks. What a great intro. And it's so lovely to hear the story, and so lovely to have just an intro regarding food and nourishment. What's amazing about all that is I've spent quite a number of years teaching, and mostly women, and teaching cookery. And so I've had kind of a journey through their lives, through my own partner's lives, around food and nourishment. And it never ceases to astound me with how exciting it can be. Now, I say that, but not all women agree. In some cases, women or men will go, oh my God, food is one of the last things I want to consider, and how do I do it, and where do I start, and where do I begin? And then there's a whole bunch of dietary recommendations that just flood our inboxes, our Facebook pages. And I know it becomes so stressful. So even now when I teach classes, one of the favorite things is to help people to lower their barriers around food and around being an enemy. And it's like, how can we use it, especially for ourselves, and also in the art of conceiving or creating? It's going to be easy and going to be yummy and gorgeous and doable and simple and beautiful. So there's a few factors, and of course I've been doing it forever, so it comes easily. But I often will ask people, or look into people's lives and go, okay, what are some real comfort foods? What are some real gorgeous foods that you now include? And how can we add to that? How can we add to our diets? Like the whole car analogy, how can we start to add good fuel? And how can we add good fuel throughout the day? It doesn't have to be 3 amazing meals. What if it was scattered throughout the day, and we grazed? And what if we grazed on healthy snacks? Because we are actually just building and building. What are we adding to these bodies, rather than, you know, there are foods that we know that are just not great, and we'll eat them or we'll binge on them. But what if we just go, hey, I'm going to have some really great snacks today. I'm going to have some in the pantry. And what about a great breakfast? And, you know, I may skip lunch, but at least have a good dinner. I often go, what if we could just have 1 great meal a day? If you can't manage 3 great meals, what about 1 great meal? And you might ask, what is a great meal? Because like some will go paleo, some will go vegan, some will go vegetarian. And I'm sure Tasha gets this question all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Dietary myths are out there, and I guess that's what hopefully we're willing to debunk those today, because I think I'm like you. I'm a self-confessed foodie, and I think healthy eating has got a bad rap. I think we see it as eating like a rabbit, you know, being Bugs Bunny and just eating celery and lettuce. And that is not about healthy eating. I mean, your recipes epitomise that. They are beautiful, they're delicious, they're nourishing. They don't feel like what we often equate as healthy food. And they're not hard. As you said, food should be our friend. I love your analogy there. It's a supportive part. It's the easy part. It's looking after us. It's nurturing us. It should be part of our day. It's not a stress. It should be actually quite the opposite. Yeah.
And so I look at, when I start with sheer beginners, I go, you know, what are textures? What are colours? Because women more than men will layer clothing. And it makes them look and feel good. So what if we started to look at food in the same way? It's like, okay, what are some colours and textures that I know would taste good, feel good? And let's look at versions of it. Like if I'm going to do dairy, what dairy is really going to help me? If I'm going to do grains or beans, what are some comforting grains or beans? Do I like coconut cream? And I look at food as, is it going to lather me on the inside and make me feel yum? Because I know that when it makes me feel yum. It often has a nutritional flow-on effect and a glow-on effect. And it's like, what if I feel yum and it allows me to go into the next day and the next day and the next month, rather than, oh my God, my doctor or my naturopath has said I need to have X amount of vitamins and minerals and X grams. And when I get into the grams, it scrambles my brain.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. That's why I think we have the same philosophy on food here, and that's why I love teaching people to eat as much. I guess nude food is the favourite term at the moment, or whole food.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all these things on food label reading and things like that, which is all very important, but you can get bogged down in the fat content, the sugar content. That if we are eating fresh nude food, not in a package, not with a barcode, it's generally going to be healthy. You don't generally need to count the stuff behind it.
Yeah, totally. So if I look at the day and I go, okay, I have breakfast and I kind of have lunch and I have dinner, and I assume that people have 3 meals, and they don't all. And I kind of wake up in the mornings, and one of the things, an obvious thing, is always a toast, coffee, and all these hard, crunchy foods. And I've come to see that in Asian communities, they have soft, warm, watery breakfast and often savoury breakfast. And we don't consider that. Like a miso soup sounds like a weird thing, and a fish congee with rice sounds weird. And lately I was off the kind of rice porridges, but I've started having like a rice porridge or even a quinoa porridge. And it's basically overcooked rice. It's something you would actually feed a child, but it's quite warming and soothing. It's still quite cold here in Melbourne. So, and do I add ginger to perk it up? Do I add coconut cream to make it lush? Do I want to put a bit of fruit or some yogurt? Is it coconut yogurt? Is it dairy yogurt? So I kind of layer it. It's like layering clothing. It's like, what does my body want to feel yum? Now, it's not like I need a huge bowl. Sometimes a small bowl is enough, or a couple of mouthfuls is enough. So that's kind of how I look at brekkie. What do I want to hug as I get out of bed? Is it a hard, crunchy toast? Is it cornflakes? Is it coffee? And sometimes it can be that, but if it was that every day, there's sometimes a disconnection to your body. So it's like, what's going to feel yummy? And then you get the kind of beautiful energy that filters through your body, hopefully. And then sort of come lunchtime, there are, what food's going to pick me up? And, sometimes I'll have an egg, and I'm not a great fan of lots of eggs, but sometimes it's a boiled egg, poached egg. And then if I really want something aggressive, it's like a fried egg. It could be a salad, it could be a quinoa salad, it could be leafy greens. Like I feel like something watery, soft, and I'll go to the garden where I've got some greens. It might be a bit of asparagus, broad bean, and some silver beet. And sometimes it's dressed, and sometimes it's nude. Yeah. And do I throw some sauerkraut? Now they're simple. People say to me, Tony, you need to be kind of a chef, and it's like I was a chef, but I've undone all that, and now my food is very simple. It's like steaming or blanching, clean and organic, if possible. And then you get to taste these foods, and you might say, oh my God, but I have an allergic reaction to that, or I don't sense that, or I don't like that. So find a couple of foods that taste yum. Think of simple dressings, whether it's olive oil or whether it's lemon juice, or occasionally you need to buy some store-bought dressings. I'm always curious about those, but if you really find a good one, go for it, but in moderation, because I kind of like my food to be raw, clean, and simple, clean flavours. I don't go to too much excitement. I mean, I do, but if the body gets these simple, clean flavours, body's happy. It's the mind that kind of wants the highs and the lows. So I just go for let's kind of moderate this, because it will moderate our moods, moderate how we feel, really help for us to have a really beautiful day. And I think if we have a beautiful day and we feel good, what else is possible?
You've just said about listening to your body, and I think we get into habit eating, and I know I've certainly been a culprit of that too. When you're busy, you habit eat. This is what you normally have for breakfast, so you get up and eat it. This is what you have for lunch at the standard shop, so you get up and you eat it. You don't actually go, okay, what does my body feel like today? And having, I know we chatted a bit about that, but having a healthy pantry, and I think I'd love you to chat more about that, because I think that's one of the main things that people need. I certainly found like that when I was consulting. It's all well and good having the recipes and the diet plan, but when that goes crap, which it often does, you're too busy, you just need something now. Having those healthy things in your pantry and looking for those colours, looking for the, because colour means flavour, means vitamins, means minerals, means vibrancy. And yeah, I mean, what are some of your staples that you would have in your pantry that you recommend?
Yeah. It's funny, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the chaos in our lives, and we try and kind of manipulate our lives or control our lives. But you know what? If you accepted that it could be chaotic, your day could be chaotic, your meal plan could be chaotic, and it's like, okay, what can I have there that I can quickly assemble? I call it assembly food. I'm an assembly worker, and it's like, what can I assemble? So some things, definitely the snacks. It could be the dried fruits, but I'm also aware that that can become an addictive thing because it's high sugars. So I look towards, I like gluten-free breads, so I'll have some gluten-free breads available if I need to have a quick toast. And then I look at nut butters, like a beautiful almond or a cashew butter that I can smear over that bread. That gives me some great protein and can ground me and make me feel full and able to get onto the day. So nut butters, tahini, those are really, really nice spreads that also go on crackers. They're an instant hit. Avocado comes to mind, a kind of nice sensual feel, and great fatty oils come to mind. And then after that, this is a crazy thing. I never did canned beans, but I kind of adore chickpeas. So canned chickpeas and some canned beans have a nice fat quality about them that they can turn into soups. They can turn into salads, ASAP with dressings. And then you may want to put some cheese on there or some greens with that, or roasted pumpkin or avocado. So I'm looking at the roasted pumpkins. And sometimes if I know I'm going to have a hectic day, I actually throw a whole lot of vegetables into the oven because I will be working from home, and I'll have the roasted red capsicum, sweet potato, pumpkin, maybe some onion. So they're roasting. I know they're going to appear somewhere in the day. And then because they're so sweet and yummy, the body loves them. So do I add chickpeas to it? Do I add avocado to it? Or do I just gorge on them and feel yummy? Because the oven is something I've been using that makes my life easy, because I'll throw things in the oven, be it a meat dish, be it roasted vegetables, be it roasted tempeh. So I get to sometimes roast, and there's some left over for the following day, because that's the next issue. Is like, God, I've cooked today, but what am I going to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Do you find that? So
the
things.
I love
things like I was thinking things like quinoa, rices, and different grains that I've enjoyed, where you'll cook a batch and then put some in the fridge for the following day, so that you're not panicked. It's like, oh my God, I go to the pasta and tomato sauce again. Whereas, okay, I can have some brown rice with chickpeas or with peas, or I can turn it into a stir fry, or it becomes my porridge tomorrow morning. So you feel like you have your kind of safety net around there. Do I add coconut cream? Doesn't want to be Italian, doesn't want to be Asian. What country does it want to go to? Yeah. That's kind of how I think. And I know not everyone thinks like that, but when you've got those ingredients and you've got a pantry with some really great seasonings, like a good soy sauce or a good mirin or a miso, then you can kind of mix and match. And I know that we would require a cooking class to sort of learn a bit more about this. Hopefully we may do that in the future.
Hopefully we'll do that one day, because I said at your cooking class we had a particularly, they were flavoured pumpkin seeds, and you put them in the oven with some tamari, and I'm addicted. They're beautiful. And those sort of things I found, I brought away from your class is the spices and the flavours. Healthy food doesn't need to be bland. I had these beautiful seeds that were roasting and nuts, and they became my snack, and they were so delicious and beautiful, filled with good fats and oils. And that's another thing I like to get across to people, and that good fat is not bad. Like, you don't need to worry about the fat content if it's a good fat. If it's coming from your nuts and your avocados, that's really nourishing and nurturing. And if the fat, our body uses a certain amount of fat. For every cell in our body has a fat layer, and we need a certain amount of good fat. So if our body is actually uptaking it and utilising it, then it's not being stored. It's the fat that our body can't use. It's the saturated trans fats that get stored in our hips. So nourishing oils and fats are actually really great for our cells, for our skin, for our hair, for our nails, and omega-3s for healthy pregnancies as well.
So this is great, because as soon as you say omega-3s, I think of fish, and I think of, sometimes, and I'll do the seared fish, and sometimes it's like the poached fish. So I look at different versions of it. Sometimes I need the excitement, so yeah, I fry or I char, or sometimes it's poached. And again, I kind of do some that's enough for today and tomorrow. So it's a poached chicken breast. And then the next day it's like, oh, today it's raw and nude, and next day it may have a little bit of a mayonnaise or a tahini dressing or an avocado dressing. So I definitely, it's funny because as you talk about the fats and oils, I go all yummy on the inside. And this is where it gets really hard when you look at all these dietary recommendations, you're out of the equation. And I do trust all the recommendations. But at a certain point, your body is really yours. And there's a knowing that says, oh my God, I'm craving avocado, so give me avocado until I don't need avocado. And it's the same with things like seaweed. I once was addicted to seaweed, and I realized so much calcium and iron in that. And, what if the body was wise enough and pointed you in that direction? Because I think there's a point where we can trust our bodies.
Absolutely. I think it's getting to that point. And I think having the right tools to get to that point about it. Certainly, some people say, oh, my body craves hot chips. Your body doesn't really crave hot chips, or if it is, it's probably something in the hot chips. It's probably that salty aspect. So if you're looking at just whole foods and you've got a great pantry of all those whole foods, when you do get those cravings, you probably will find, okay, I'm going to go for nut butter instead of those, hot chips, which will provide the same sort of salty, ness and the fats that go with it, but in a much, more productive and healthier form.
Yeah, I kind of feel lathered on the inside. And sometimes, excesses of the nut butter or the excesses of a good quality oil. Like coconut oil, we all know, we read about coconut oil. And so I'll put a nice dollop in my morning porridge, and sometimes even coconut cream. It's quite fatty, but it's quite warming. I find that, we kind of want to warm up on the inside. So oils supply that. And I know people get a bit shocked at the amounts. Like I'm Italian, so I use olive oil, and married to an English woman, and she's like, well, what are you doing? But I realized there's a point where I went austere and had no oils because that's what I was told. But as soon as I took up more oils, I was a happier person. What if you were eating good quality oils and more of it, and somehow it steered me away from all those hard, crunchy sweets that sometimes are not so beneficial, and sometimes they're store-bought and you buy them when you're panicked and it really doesn't add to your body. So it's like, again, looking at, is this adding to my life, adding to my body? Is it building? Is it strengthening? Don't be so analytical, but at least be joyful with it and go, yeah, this is good. This feels good. Good piece of chocolate. Is this kind of good raw chocolate?
And there is some great, delicious food like that. And having a piece of chocolate every now and again, certainly I don't advocate of being totally, healthy, as we should say. And I think people get hung up on the old-fashioned food diet pyramid, I know, is being thrown out with the bathwater, really. So when we're not into the no fats, no oils, it's all about eating a healthy fat and a healthy oil. And our body actually learns to process the fats and oils better. If we are taking some in there. Also, they are high calorie, but they're very filling and nourishing as well, as you said. So I actually always incorporated in my diet plans when I was working in the weight loss field. I incorporated oils into the plan. I know it always gets said, but I can't have like a tablespoon of oil on my salad. That's like so many calories. And I know that you will actually find that your body will process the fat better, and you'll actually lose weight on that. And of course, that's what happens when you start to listen to your body and actually look at the foods that are nourishing, not just what's written on a label. And in fact, if they do have a label and a barcode, it's probably not as good as something that doesn't.
Yeah. I think the other experiment, and this was something I needed to learn too many years ago, was to really start to feel how my body feels after eating something. And I was never aware of it. I was a very unconscious kind of French style chef. But when I actually got really quite ill, and that's how I began on the journey, and when I actually started to say eat mouthfuls of food and actually start to chew it, I felt great. So it's kind of going back to some basic foods, tasting foods, and starting to be aware of what feels good and what doesn't feel good, and mix and matching, and kind of this whole idea of making mistakes and cooking. Even if you don't know how to cook, just begin. I often think, well, okay, we start with the good oil and we add an ingredient, and the extra ingredient would jump in and follow, and then it just needs to be yummy for you. You know, obviously sometimes people you're cooking for others, but they can adjust the seasoning, but keep the seasoning quite simple. Good quality salt, I always recommend an amount of good quality salt. Try and get the mind out of it and try and get the body. It's like a whole body experience. When we start to get all the dietary pyramid in there, you kind of get scrambled and you kind of go into fear. And, you know, it's like, I do understand we want the colours, but let it become a natural thing.
Yeah.
A bit like a child.
Yeah, exactly. Play with some colours, play with some flavours, find out what you like, find out what you don't like, instead of following the dietary guidelines on the back of a packet or looking for a certain amount of fats or calories. And a couple of things I often get asked, which I'll run by you as well, and frozen foods. That's a go-to for some people who are really time poor. Right. Is it a real no-no in your book? Do you know? Well, how was your feeling on incorporating? You touched on food, frozen food, canned food.
Well, once upon a time, I was kind of like, when you're single, you kind of cook in and you can cook everything. But once you're married and you have a child, you have a family, you start to look at how can I take some shortcuts, and frozen foods become a really good one. Because especially when you're time poor, it's like, will I make a batch of frozen lasagnas with some maybe gluten-free pastry and beautiful roasted vegetables? Will I make a lentil bake with a mash on top? And it's really beautiful because you can make 6 of those and freeze those, and then take them out on those nights when you're not in the mood, or you're in the mood for just a little bit. Do you put them in little ramekins? Do you put them in foils? But it's been such a great go-to. Even cooking chickpeas, like fresh chickpeas, soaking, cooking, freeze some. Those nut balls, those beautiful sort of energy balls, make batches, freeze some, and then just release some when you need them. And sometimes you just go to the freezer and have it frozen cold, Things like jellies, like beautiful beef jellies or stocks, beautiful stocks. I'll make batches, put them in stock cubes, freeze them. It's become my best friend. So yeah, I admit.
My freezer's always full. I have time to do one big batch and one big cook-up, and then I'm just pulling things out of the freezer, which is, it's great. At least it's really healthy, it's freshly cooked, but it's really convenient.
Yeah, so I think with the freezer, it's like always using bits of that and trying to infuse something fresh. I like to have a herb garden, if anyone can grow a herb garden, and putting lots of greens. Greens are really important, that kind of cleansing effect through parsley, silver beet, anything green. Because often frozen food it's not a dead look, but it's a bit flat. So how do we lift our food so it's exciting? Is it a bit of ginger? Is it lemon zest? Is it fresh greens? Just to give it that lift, and visually it's beautiful, but also taste-wise, it sort of explodes in your mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The other thing I get asked is, I know it's a question coming up there, is, should you have 3 meals a day, or is it okay to just snack? What's your opinion? We briefly touched on that. Is it okay to just snack when you feel like it, or if you don't feel like breakfast, should we skip that, or should we really try to establish a 3 meals a day kind of plan?
It's funny because that whole idea is given to us. And I still follow it, and then I realise, my life isn't that linear. I can't really fit 3 meals in. I've gone to grazing, where will snack throughout the day and just keep tabs on amounts of food. And sometimes, again, it's that kind of listening. It's like, okay, I feel hungry. It's 3 o'clock. Do I actually wait till 6, or will I have something small now and then have some at 6 with the family? Often having that small amount is really great for your blood sugar levels. It just allows you to be still active in the day. And you kind of start testing, using yourself as an example. So, I love to graze. I'll have an early breakfast, and then mid-morning I'm hungry. And rather than judge myself and beat myself up, I'll go to that gluten-free toast with avocado or nut butter. And it's not a lot, but it could be a couple of really nice crackers. And then I feel like I can move towards lunch. But if you don't go there and don't feed that hunger, there's a panic that goes on in the body, and the body's kind of like going, give me something right now. So let's kind of meet it. Yeah, so let's graze.
Yeah, I was big on that, and that's why I'm really big on healthy snacks, because even when you're dieting, I think that's the main problem that I found when I was working in the weight loss industry, is people, they have their breakfast that was allocated to them, and then I can't eat until 1 now. And what the body as you said, the body panics, and in actual fact, our metabolism can slow down because our body doesn't understand. Like, we were, hunter-gatherer at times, when there was those starvation periods, our body naturally slows down our metabolism because it thinks, hey, there's no food coming in. Maybe I'm going to go into starvation mode. No, I should conserve my fat reserves here. I need to hang on to stuff because nothing's coming in. So it's important to actually feed that appetite and understand our appetite. And that was a big thing that I work with people on, is understanding the appetite. You need to understand when it finishes, because that's another issue, because we don't want to overeat. So we also need to realise that it takes usually about 15 minutes to half an hour for actually your brain to actually catch up to the fact we're full. That message that our stomach signals to our brain can actually take a little while to get there. And that's why we often, when we're really starving and we reach beyond that point, which I'm sure we've all done, you get busy and then you come home and you're absolutely ravenous and you eat and eat and eat, and then you realise half an hour later that you ate way too much. And your appetite was just so ferocious that you couldn't shut it off. So I think having those snacks available to feed that appetite, and then you go, okay, and I always encourage people, just have a small amount and then wait a little while. Okay, no, I'm not actually still hungry, because sometimes you eat your little snack, you think, I'm still hungry, I'll keep going. But wait a little bit. That snack's probably been enough. Your brain will catch up the fact you've eaten, and that's often enough. And having those things available to snack on instead of going way past the point and being way too hungry, or B, snacking on something like a chocolate bar, which, is just a go-to quick fix. It's having the pantry there and understanding your appetite to be able to control your appetite and manage your appetite is much better for your metabolism. Your body goes, hey, I'm getting fed, I'm getting little bits here and there. I don't need to slow down. I don't need to try to hang on to my fat. I can actually burn my fat if I want to, because I'm getting plenty of it coming in. So, there is that fine balance, and actually understanding your own body and how it works can be a really great tool to actually achieving, a healthy balance, but also for fertility as well, achieving a healthy weight to improve your fertility outcomes as well.
Yeah, a little kind of kindness to these beautiful bodies that we have. We ask a lot of these bodies, and so we forget. We can be in front of the PC, eating on the phone, and I often will just pull myself back and sit and just no devices and just some kindness. Like, I'll chew my food and I'll say, you know what, my body deserves like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because we're often on the run. Even snacks, we're often on the run. And the issue with standing and eating is you never know when you're full. So it's like, set the table, kind of believe that you deserve it, and just chew on it. Now, even with small morsels, and kind of like take in the environment. And that wasn't my norm. And often I catch myself, it's like, okay, Tony, what if you were important? And what if your body was important? And what if, this is just a meal that you just want to add to your life, rather than I'm just doing this because I have to?
Yeah.
So we get really rushed with the whole deal.
It increases your satiety too. I know there's been studies that actually show that if you eat on the run, you actually don't almost your brain doesn't notice you're eating, because you're too busy focusing on the computer screen in front of you, or you're on the phone, or you're rushing from one place to the other. Your body barely even recognises that you've eaten. So you actually still feel hungry, because it just sort of got wolfed. You barely tasted it. So if you do nourish yourself, and as I spoke about, in the emails which people here have probably received, you are nourishing your future child now. I mean, you are already carrying all the genetic material that has the potential to become your future child. So really the nourishing and the nurturing part of being a parent really starts now. So I think having that in mind when you are consuming your food makes a real point of difference. So yeah, treat your body as if you already have that baby inside you, because you actually do. The studies now show that what you do in that preconception period, so, in those 90 days when that sperm and egg are developing, the environment that you provide then, and nourishment that you provide then to create the healthiest egg and healthiest sperm possible, not only naturally increases your fertility, of course, but it also it has had a greater impact on the long-term health and well-being of your child than your genetics do. You actually have the opportunity through your nutrition to switch on genes, switch off genes, really, improve your DNA, for want of a better term, to create the healthiest child possible. So I think bearing that in mind when you are nourishing your body, you're not just, I'm better at doing that. You know, if it was just for me, I go, oh, well, I'll just whiz down a snack here or there. But when you think about it, it's not just you're nourishing your future child. Sit down, take the time to actually register what you're eating, enjoy what you're eating. Generally, you'll make better choices. You'll feel fuller. You'll feel more nourished. You'll be in a less stressed state, and you'll digest better. I don't know if I've done that too. You do race something because you're running from one thing to the other, and then it just sits in your gut, and you just think, oh, that's not going anywhere. Whereas if you give yourself time to think about it and take that time to let your body know, okay, there's food coming in, chew your food. You know, that signal to your stomach to go create some digestive juices, get things moving in there. It's actually going to get more nutrition out of your food too, because you do have that environment in your gut that's going, okay, food's coming, I'm preparing for it. But when you're stressed and running on a deadline and eating, as you said, eating standing, your digestion is not even paying attention. You know, the food itself sitting there. You're not even getting the best out of your food. So,
Well, I think I often think it's a bit like an orgasm in your mouth. If you actually chew that food, you get to taste these morsels of it. It's kind of enter your body. Now, the body will do what it needs to do, but if you get chew your food, there's that kind of orgasm, there's that relaxation that just goes into your body. Absolutely. That actually anything can happen around you. Anything can happen the rest of the day, the night. But you've kind of had, and I don't say you need a huge meal, like a small meal that's kind of like explodes in your mouth and in your body can be so relaxing. It can be a nice way to go to bed or a nice way to enter the day. That really helped with the rest of conceiving or the rest of the day or the rest of your peace of mind. Because I realized one of the great things about eating well was it helped my peace of mind.
Yeah,
which, you know, probably you don't get that. You know, your doctor won't say, well, eat well or eat simple will help your peace of mind. But if your peace of mind's kind of like chilled, what if that really helps with everything else? Because I know that when you are aggressive and running, you become aggressive and anxious, and your energy's kind of out here. But when you're eating quite well, your energy's in your lower limbs. And you're like, oh, the world is good, my life is good, and we are moving forward. And you're more able to move forward. But when you're hyperactive and drinking Coke and lots of coffee and lots of chocolate, it can be stressful and exciting and overstimulating. So my idea is bringing food to the belly and to the lower limbs where you can feel in your body and sort of in control and present and able and capable.
And that provides a more sustained nourishment, I think. I mean, it's natural to gravitate to those caffeine, high sugar foods because they do provide a quick fix. I won't deny that. You know, you have a coffee, you do feel that buzz, but that buzz drops, and that's when you crave the next buzz. But if you actually switch on and actually nourish your body and get the nutrients out of it, that provides a much more sustained release, not just for the day, but for weeks, for months, and much better option than those quick highs and lows that we often get with the sugar drops. Yeah,
and this is where I've liked whole foods, is that it actually increases my energy daily, weekly, monthly, and then you get to a point where, wow, I actually feel good, and it's no particular reason. It's just that I'm actually balancing my food and I'm eating some gorgeous, wholesome meals that actually sink me into a deeper level of me that, you know, I'd never experienced prior. And so now, when I know that I'm out of balance, I'll start to have some good meals, dot them throughout the days. It doesn't have to be every day, but here and there. And they all kind of meet, and your body goes, I like this. I like this space. I can create from this space. I can be happy in this space. Otherwise, you are at the whim of, you know, what am I going to have today? What am I going to have tomorrow? So it's like you choosing, you being the choosing one, you taking control. And it's not, doesn't have to be disastrous or damaging. It's just like, okay, Tony says I'll have one good meal a day. So what will it be? Will it be breakfast? Will it be lunch? Will it be dinner? Start with one. It might seep into three. It might seep into more, but start with one great meal a day.
Yeah, I think that's a great take-home message. I know we could talk for hours on this topic.
Yeah.
But I guess that the main take-home message I want, we hope to get across to people is about taking the stress off it, about taking the stress off food. It should be the easy part, the nourishing part, the warm, the yummy part. I love the fact that you mentioned some foods and you just, you get all warm inside. And, on the there are some really healthy foods that are great comfort foods. So I guess, I don't know, the things I guess would like people to take home from today is get a great pantry. If you can, I love South Melbourne Market, obviously, but if you can get to your local market or grab some nice, plenty of whole foods that are just sitting there ready to go. And I love your layering. I do that all the time. Some foods that you can just throw together. So when you said all about that, nut butters on a cracker with avocado is my go-to snack. I've always got that there. And I think having those things available when you do need the snack. So fine, and that's just what it is for me. I also, as I said, love your tahini, tamari, pumpkin seeds. So whatever it is for you, find those snacks, get those pumpkin seeds, those nuts, those nut butters or avocado, or even whether it's the chickpeas or some hummus and some carrot and celery. Whatever you have them in your pantry ready to go so that you don't fall into that trap. And listen to your body, nourish your body when it needs it. Don't be guided by a strict diet that says you have to eat at this time and then at this time. Listen to your own appetite when it starts and when it finishes. And, honour your body, honour yourself and your future baby that you are carrying already. So make sure that what you're putting in there is really good stuff, because as you said, you deserve it. We treat our cars better than we do. We can't trade this in. This is the only vehicle we've been given. So, nourishing, it shouldn't be seen like a stress. It shouldn't seem like we're missing out even, because, I know with your brilliant recipes, please jump on the Conceive Baby site and check out Tony's recipes, because some of my favourites are on there. They don't feel like you're missing out at all, because they're absolutely beautiful and delicious. So is there anything you want to leave people with tonight?
No, what came to mind was, see a naturopath or seek some advice. Like sometimes these ingredients can be foreign. I mean, they were once foreign to me. So when I talk nut butters and tahinis, they've become natural to me. So maybe seek cookbooks, go to cooking classes, see a naturopath, see someone that can actually guide you. And then start the journey. It was a journey. So let's just begin a journey of kind of food discovery. There'll be mistakes, but start the journey.
And as you said, there's no right or wrong, and I love that. I know I did tahini once, to be honest, and now it's a staple in my cup, and I have nearly every day. I love it spread on, almost anything. And I think experimenting with things, go in and, try some tahini. There's hull, there's unhull, there's all sorts of weird and wonderful things you can get. See if you like it, and if you don't, it's not likely saying, you have to have that, or, there's no other option. Find out what works for you.
Yeah.
Go to your local deli and speak to a naturopath as well. We have some guidelines on the website as well, and also the Conceive Baby directory. You can find support in your local area, naturopath. And certainly if you have any queries at all, you can contact both Tony and myself through the Conceive Baby website with any queries, because we love helping you conceive and carry healthy babies and nourish yourself and nourish your future child. So if you've got any personal questions, don't hesitate to contact us anytime.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much for being with us today, Tony. I really value it. As I said initially, I'm really rapt to have you on board. As soon as I met you, I loved you, your passion, your ideas, your knowledge, the way you make everything so easy and beautiful and simple. So I'm really thrilled to have you on board. So thanks on behalf of everyone for coming aboard tonight. And everyone else, we have some more webinars coming up. You've probably seen in the emails in the next 2 weeks. On the 22nd of November at 2 o'clock, I'll be talking to IVF and fertility specialist Dr. Alex Polikov about the very common yet often misunderstood condition of PCOS. So he'll provide some really invaluable insights to that, and we've also got more coming up, so keep an eye on your inbox now. And if you haven't already signed up to our regular newsletter as well as our webinars, make sure you jump on the newsletter as well, because we have plenty of tips, lots of blog tips and articles and advice as well. So thanks very much for your time, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.